Dressing Room! Welcome to Pop-O-Holics, show about hot takes, hotter than hot taste of pancakes, where we do things a bit different around here. My name is Christian. I am the host of this show, and I'm joined by my two best friends.
Chris Conkling.
And Brian Dupree.
My two best spider buddies. We're all boosted now. I'm boosted, baby.
Oh, Boosty Boys.
We're the Boosty Boys.
Boys.
We're all very excited because it's Spider-Sember, as everyone knows. Even people that don't listen to it. It's in the air. It really is. The multiverse is ablaze. Welcome to Spidey-Sember on the Pop-O-Holics weekly upload. We got some more Spider-Man news because it's Spider-Man.
We do.
Super Spider-Man month.
Very in line with what our main episode is going to be on Wednesday.
Yeah, we're going to be covering Into the Spider-Verse, which is very exciting, on the Wednesday episode. So what is Pop-O-Holics? Well, it's these three goofy fellas just chit-chatting about all things pop culture. Well, this is a weekly upload for our YouTube watchers. We are going to be giving you the news. Brian brings us the wacky news, the latest in what's streaming, what's premiering in theaters, maybe some video game upcomings. And then for audio feed listeners exclusively, which you can find in the show notes below, we talk about our quick hits, what we've been consuming. We do a rundown of kind of the things we've been getting into, of which I have a ton this week. I actually have more than what's listed because I'm going to...
Enough for you and me.
Yeah, he's overcompensating since Chris has been busy this week.
Absolutely. Then we do a little bit of community feedback, of which you can discover ways to interact with the community. Again, link in the show notes to see all our social medias and all the fun things we got going on. But let us delay no further. A lot of news to get into, so let's start the way that the Pop-O-Holics do on this show and talk about Brian's Wacky News.
Welcome back, everyone. So we have gotten our first trailer for the sequel to the movie that we're going to be covering on Wednesday this week, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and it's called Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Part 1. So this was a reveal that came with the trailer that this is actually going to be a two-part set of movies that are going to be obviously a cohesive storyline between them. This is really exciting for me, something that we didn't know. We also got a release date for this coming in October 7th, 2022. So relatively right around the corner, and the first trailer was released. I don't want to get too much into details of where this movie begins because it is very much at the tail end, picks right up where the first one left off, and sees Spider-Man seemingly maybe branching out from his part of the universe, and for reasons that, I don't want to get too deep into here. The plot requires of him. So you guys watch this trailer. I want to say, I think we get very little. We get clearly the very beginning of the movie, and then we get one action sequence that doesn't give us all that much. Kind of reminded me a lot of what Ratchet and Clank, the new game, looked like, Christian, in terms of hopping between universe type stuff. And with the way this movie plays out, it looks like we're going to get new animation styles, which is some of the best parts of what this movie offers, I think. What do you guys think of this?
Of Ratchet and Clank, a rift apart, a pun on a rip a fart.
Wow, I did not recognize that. Nice.
Yeah, no, they're very, it's very
clever.
High-hanging bananas? I don't know.
Oh, I can't even reach the fruit.
I can't even reach the fruit. It's so high, that fruit.
I think we've lost the metaphor.
But yeah, Chris, what are your thoughts on this the spider tease that we got?
Brian, I'm not going to let you pussyfoot around. Look, if you haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse by now,
notorious spoiler.
Yeah,
I think it's okay to tease several elements of a teaser. When watching this teaser, I was immediately right back in the feeling of Into the Spider-Verse. The dynamic between Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy is so fun. I love the chemistry between Shamik Moore and Haley Steinfeld, even though I doubt they even recorded in the same room at any point while making that first movie. But they have
the
great
same
chemistry.
Universe for that matter.
Yeah, or the same Spideyverse. But yeah, this looks to be more of everything that we loved about the first movie. We got glimpses of an Indian Spider-Man universe. We got Spider-Man 2099 popping back in the teaser for a little bit. So I'm really excited to see this film. Instead of the Spider-Verse coming to Miles, it's mostly going to be Miles traveling through the Spider-Verse, and the prospect of that kind of shifting what the first movie was on its head, it's just really exciting. I just hope that the sequel's able to deliver on what was seemingly lightning in a bottle with that first one. It seems like that first one had all the right elements that it needed to the point where it actually won an Oscar. So that's such a can't even talk. That's such a high bar to reach. And
well, that's why you got those web shooters.
Yeah, they're gonna need them. They're gonna need them to.
I think that's
deliver.
where all that fruit is too.
Right, exactly.
So, Christian, before I let you get into your opinions, I just want to let everyone know this is going to be directed by Joaquin Dos Santos, Kent Powers, and Justin K. Thompson in their feature directorial debuts, and with the screenplay from Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, both of you who wrote the first movie, and David Callahan. So
it has all the elements. Joaquin Dos Santos worked on Avatar: The Last Airbender, so I trust him as a creator, especially in the realm of animation. Yes, yeah, that terrible live-action M. Night Shyamalan movie. No, Christian, the animated source material.
Okay.
For Avatar: The Last Airbender. So the man knows animation, and he knows how to tell a good story. So I have faith that at the very least, it'll be a good movie.
I think the most confidence that I can have is two parts. One is the return of Lord Miller, who did the Lego movie. They worked on the Solo movie, but then lost their creative control, and that turned into, you could see some of the DNA that's in there. I think they probably were, in my opinion, worked on the best parts of that movie, and of course worked on the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which was Sony's best Spider-Man movie in forever. Since the second Spider-Man. It's almost over a decade since Sony had put out a good Spider-Man. And to make it animated, to make it all fun. And the other thing that gives me confidence is this teaser trailer is just a scene for the most part, right? It has this like tease that comes at the end of the scene, but just letting these characters interact, having confidence in the writing, that gives me confidence that this movie, like you said, is at least going to hit around the bar. Maybe not. I try not to put expectations that it could supersede because, as you said, the first one won an Oscar, and we'll share more of our opinions on that film on Wednesday, the original Into the Spider-Verse. But I think it shows absolute confidence in the project, and I am super hyped to see all the different Spider-Men, but even more so, like, outside, I know, Chris, you're really excited to see the different iterations, and you're probably just as excited as me to see who voices these, what kind of cameos we get in characters, because that was so much fun of the first film.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's the first trailer for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 that is available now.
Also a pun, it's a pun on a Beatles song, Across the Universe.
Yeah, very fitting that
Across
Get
the
Back
Universe
came out recently, so
Get
nice
Back
Beatles
Spider-Man,
tie-in there.
my goodness, finger on the pulse, the spider pulse.
So some exciting news for Shang-Chi. Destin Daniel Cretton has signed a new deal with Marvel Studios and Hulu's Onyx Collective to make a variety of things, one of which they've confirmed the sequel to Shang-Chi, which with how it performed, this was an easy guess that this would be the case. But he is confirmed to write and direct this, which is a great sign for those of us who enjoyed that movie. He also has an unnamed at this point show that's coming to Disney Plus. So we don't know too much about that, but he's also going to be developing stuff for Hulu as well. So really exciting for Destin Daniel Cretton to, on the back of Shang-Chi, really, got a payoff here. So it's exciting. What do you guys think of the sequel to Shang-Chi and Cretton coming back on to write and direct?
Well, Brian, as you mentioned, this was bound to happen. Like, absolutely not surprising at all with how Shang-Chi performed. Everyone really seemed to like that movie a lot. So absolutely expected that we're getting a sequel and that, Destin Daniel Cretton's coming back to direct it. In terms of what his Disney Plus series might be, we have no information, but I can speculate about maybe what he could make. Maybe we'll get like a 10 Rings show with Shang-Chi's sister as the lead. That could be kind of cool. Ooh. But we have no information whatsoever. So only Kevin Feige knows what they're kind of planning for him on Disney Plus. But very, very excited. Christian, what about you?
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing about Shang-Chi for me is always like this overall universe stuff, the stuff that only Kevin Feige knows, which is like interesting. We got this news at the same time that there was also news that Kevin Feige announced that Matthew Cox, right? That's his name, the actor for
Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox. Thank you, Chris. Is going to reprise his role as is the MCU Daredevil, and in his story, the Ten Rings was already explored as an organization, and it seems like
the hand was explored, not the different assassin organization.
Oh, I thought it was the same. I thought the Ten Rings was talked about in Daredevil, and that they
no.
Really. Okay.
Yeah. It is interesting though because it's,
but the hand is
they
the
could
sister.
overlap.
The sister makes the hand, right?
No, the sister. I promise you that the Ten Rings and the hand
I haven't seen the show.
Are different organizations.
Okay, sorry, I was confusing my criminal underground organizations in the Marvel universe.
Similar, very similar though.
In classic Feige fashion, he said this in a way where it's like, if he were to come back, this is the character who'd be playing. It's like, at this point, why are you beating around the bush when it's so obvious what you're talking about here? But this is something that people have been asking for online for a long time. Yeah. And I am happy to see them get this because from what I understand, he did a really good job in that role.
You know, from Kevin Feige's perspective and from what you were saying, Christian, like they could completely disregard everything that happened in the Netflix universe and easily merge the Ten Rings and the hand into one organization for the MCU. They've been known to do that before.
But then they would have to be the hands.
So. The hands with the 10 rings.
10 rings.
Yeah, I mean, it's really solved easily by Kevin Feige just being like, portals? It's a portal. It's a portal he falls through. He's from a different New York.
Just open up a portal. Whenever there's a problem, open a portal.
We've set the stage. We have a reference point.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we got a little off topic there, but Destin Daniel Cretton signs on to write and direct Shang-Chi 2. All right. A little bit of downer news for those people who enjoyed this show, but the Netflix Cowboy Bebop series has been canceled after season 1, only a couple months after it initially premiered. So this thing apparently didn't do as well as Netflix had hoped it would, especially at the price point that it was happening at. I haven't seen the show, so I can't really speak to its quality, but the Hollywood Reporter's Angie Han wrote that Cowboy Bebop was faithful to a fault with leaden pacing and the sharp visuals were reduced to muddy CG. Playful humor translated as phony laughter, the lived-in grittiness replaced with shoddy-looking sets. So I think this is a bit of a harsh takedown. I know there were people that did enjoy this show, but it seems to be reflective of how Netflix ultimately decided this. Had you guys seen any of this show? I know I really liked one of the initial trailers that came out, which gave me hope, but not enough to actually pull the trigger on it. Chris, did you watch some of this?
I did. I watched the first 2 episodes. I'm a huge Cowboy Bebop fan, the original. I mean, I've loved it since high school, when it originally aired on Adult Swim. I don't disagree with what she's saying. The CGI really wasn't that great. The special effects wasn't great. Look, it was fun. I can't lie and say that I didn't have a smile on my face during the opening sequence. They were pulling elements from the Cowboy Bebop movie and changing them around. So it was fun watching John Cho act as Spike Spiegel and being like, oh my God, I see what they're doing here. That's a whole lot of fun. But as the story goes on, they add elements to it that I just don't think are necessary. I personally think that the original Cowboy Bebop is a perfect work. It makes me sad that a lot of people have this idea where animation is an immediate turnoff for them, or this hurdle that they have to overcome, because there's so many good stories to be told within the animation medium, and it's not all for kids, So if only people were a little more open-minded, I think they would actually really enjoy the original. My hope is that this first season of Cowboy Bebop got people to explore the original, because in a very smart move, Netflix also released the original anime at the exact same time that they released this adaptation. But yeah, I'm not surprised that it got canceled, tragically. I think John Cho did a really good job as Spike Spiegel. The rest of the cast was also pretty solid as well. But There's one character that was omitted completely from most of the season, and that is Ed from the show. I won't spoil the end of the season. But yeah, not everyone was adapted so well, and not everyone is kind of suited for live action from the original show. So yeah, not surprised. I'm kind of glad that it's gone, and I hope that most people check out the original. Check out the source material. I think you'll really like it. Cowboy Bebop is one of those animes that's kind of, I've always thought of it as like a gateway anime where if you have a friend that's kind of opposed to animation or has never really been into anime, it doesn't have enough of those anime archetypes or stereotypes that you see. It's very digestible for a Western audience.
It's played very
I
straight.
highly recommend watching the original.
It's played
What'd
very,
you say, Christian?
It's played very straight. Like it's straightforward. It doesn't have a lot of. I mean, in a lot of anime, and this is just a cultural thing. I imagine there's just a lot of over the top emotional melodrama that occurs in a lot of anime and exposition heavy, really laying out stuff over redundant that you just wouldn't do for Western audiences. And it really does. It's very Western in that way, and it is kind of a space Western. And, I was really disappointed. I did not catch it because it just got eviscerated. I'm on TikTok a little more than you, and it got eviscerated by people. Sure. And like a lot of positive things about this is how I would have done it, which I always love. Like if you're critiquing it, like I love coming forward with like a solution to, it's because of this. Like they didn't film the action in this way, and like they expedited these characters. And like you said, they omitted this. I just think it probably takes a daft hand to, it's not an easy task to adapt this series because it's already kind of a genre mashup. You have the anime style, but that's just in like the way that it's shot. And then you've got like kung fu elements mixed with gung fu elements, mixed with noir, mixed with like space battles. So it's just a whole lot of things going on. And so it really requires quite a deft hand to pull off. And I probably would only, like, if I were to pick, who's my dream team to do that, it would probably be the Wachowskis to adapt it because of their work with Speed Racer. And I just think it probably needed more budget, or the budget spent better, because I heard that, like, I just saw pictures of some prosthetics and wigs and sets that were just, ooh, this looks very B movie. This looks like really under budget. So all very sad. I'm disappointed.
I will say that I definitely think the creators have a respect and a love for the source material.
For sure.
I do want to acknowledge that. I just think anime is really hard to adapt to live action. Acting is hard.
Art
adapting
is hard.
anime to live action is hard. So there are more failures than successes.
And like you said, hopefully it drove people to the original show. And, that first season will always be there for the people who did enjoy it. So, yeah, that's Cowboy Bebop season 1, unfortunately canceled at Netflix. All right. We are going to bookend with another trailer, the TV series of Macgruber.
It's time to make some widows.
Macgruber is based on an SNL sketch that stars Will Forte, who is it's a play on MacGyver, but he is completely ludicrously inept and just incapable. And the whole sketch was based on him failing every time because of how inadequate his skills are. They made a movie out of it that, if you love it, you love it. It's a love or hate kind of thing, because it very much is just balls to the walls, this sort of humor. And they're making a TV show out of it. So we have Will Forte coming back. We have Kristen Wiig, Ryan Philippe, Sam Elliott, Lawrence Fishburne, Billy Zane, Timothy V. Murphy. Most of the people that you know from the first movie and from some of the sketches coming back. This trailer, I don't know if I'll ultimately watch this whole show, but I'm definitely going to check out at least an episode or two. I don't know if they can sustain a plot throughout the course of a whole series, but this sort of comedy, when I'm in the mood for it, definitely hits a certain sweet spot. What did you guys think of this Macgruber trailer?
Christian, I'm going to let you go first, considering that you are more of a fan of the movie than I am.
Okay. I'm going to do something a little different. It's going to take me a second to set up, and you may have... Well,
that's fitting with our show, Christian.
I'm sorry.
We do things a bit differently. around here.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna I'm sorry, gentlemen, you're not gonna be able to see it, but hearing it will be enough. I'm gonna play about 1 minute of the Macgruber trailer, really quick for our audience. Let me zone over. This is gonna look a little weird on the video, so I apologize, but I'm doing this on the cuff because I don't know what other way to explain what I experienced. But let's just play just a tad bit of the Macgruber trailer.
Are you sure about this, sir?
No, Major, I'm not. This son of a bitch is our only hope.
He's what we like to call a problem inmate.
Why's that?
He doesn't play well with others.
We need you, Macgruber.
Why me?
You were specifically requested. Mac, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's a suicide mission.
Who let the dog out? My country has invited me to die.
Okay, so that is part of the trailer for Macgruber. Now, what am I gonna do next?
Play a different portion of the trailer.
You boys know it's
I'm gonna play the trailer from Reacher on Amazon Prime.
to happen to you. You leave now.
Police, don't move!
Jack Reacher, parents deceased, retired Army.
Bronze Star, Silver Star, and a Purple Heart.
What in God's name is a guy like that doing in Margrave?
What's a guy like that doing in jail? Zip ties?
Cuffs didn't fit him. You guys recycle.
7 bodies since you set foot in my town.
I was arrested for murder. Now you want my help?
I want you to do what I say.
You just go wherever you want, whenever you want.
Everyone's always jealous. I'm gonna uncover this whole operation and burn it to the ground.
This sounds like more of a parody than Macgruber.
Don't go getting yourself arrested for murder.
Shooter was someone who knows firearms well.
Lightning.
Bullets were 95 grain. That's subsonic. Wow. This wasn't the first time.
So
People are
full of action puns, and this is what I love about good satire. Chris, feel free to edit that however you want. It's just so when you watch Macgruber, it's almost like it's funny and there's funny things, but then you watch what it's satiring and you just can't take it seriously anymore because they copy the style and the elements so well and add the goofiness that it's incredible. It's my favorite kind of thing. The thing you see and forever you're changed. And so I saw that trailer when I was about to watch something on Amazon Prime and I couldn't stop laughing at it. My fiance's like, what's wrong with you? Because it's just like, he's just in these cuffs and he just breaks them. So it's almost like the thing makes other things funny, which in and of itself is, maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but I just wanted to play back how similar the tone and the music of the trailer is. So
It was a solid example for
No,
sure.
they do a great job when it comes to the satire in Macgruber.
so I can't wait. It's very exciting.
As our loyal listeners will know, we actually reviewed Macgruber a year ago or so when we were doing, was it during our slapstick comedy month, I think?
I believe so.
We watched Macgruber. And I was not so hot on that movie. I'm not a big fan of that particular subgenre of the action genre to begin with. So, watching something that satirizes that subgenre obviously really isn't going to be enjoyable for me or not really even in my wheelhouse, but I know Macgruber has a ton of people that love that movie. Some people think that it's one of the best comedies ever made. And I respect that, it's just not my cup of tea. So I'm probably not going to watch a show. I also wasn't really a big fan. I mean, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that I wasn't a big fan of the original sketch on SNL because in a small 5-minute window, the sketch is very funny. And the fact that it's consistently the same punchline, that's excellent. So the Macgruber sketch is a very well-written comedy sketch. But when you stretch it out to 2 hours, it becomes a little grating in my personal opinion. But I'm excited for everybody who is looking forward to this show. We announced that this show was coming out what seems like ages ago, probably over a year ago because of the pandemic. But I'm looking forward for everyone that's looking forward to this trailer. I'm not going to watch it. It's not a reason for me to get Peacock.
There's no well, and that's
the big
perfect
barrier.
Transition here,
Big barrier.
Chris. So yeah, the Macgruber trailer's out now, and I will quickly we talked about it enough. So that's coming to Peacock this Friday, the 17th. I don't have Peacock, but this might convince some people if they're big fans of Macgruber.
I might get a month to knock out Macgruber, and then there's that remake of the high school show that apparently is really good. God, what Saved by the Bell remake is on Peacock.
Right.
I want to knock that out. So knock
I
out a couple.
also highly recommend AP Bio. My wife and I have purchased a monthly subscription to Peacock multiple times just to watch AP Bio.
Is that
with,
the Glenn Howerton show?
Yeah, I've
and
seen the
Patton
first season.
Oswalt.
I've seen the first season.
So funny.
It's really good. Yeah, for sure.
So, if you subscribe to Peacock for Macgruber, be sure to check out AP Bio as well before your subscription ends.
Look at that. You're welcome, NBC. Throw us
You go.
Throw us a
Look
little
at us
dough here.
helping you out.
Bum, bum, bum.
All right, now we might be copyright infringing or something.
We just gave them a free ad. They
Basically.
They can go fuck themselves.
Oh my God.
So that's Macgruber coming to Peacock this Friday. Moving on to some other TV shows that are coming out this week. We've got Station 11 coming to HBO Max this Thursday. So this show is summarized as survivors of a devastating flu attempt. Survivors of a devastating flu attempt to rebuild and reimagine the world anew while holding on to the best of what's been lost. This show seems like it's heavily inspired by a lot of other things, but I gotta say the trailer looks pretty good. It's based on a novel of the same name by Emily St. John Mandel and stars Mackenzie Davis, Himesh Patel, David Wilmot, and others. And yeah, I'm not sure if this is really going to be if you're in the mood for it or not. We're still in the middle of a pandemic right now worldwide. I'm not sure this is exactly the sort of content that people are looking for, but if you are looking for a group of people that is hopeful about trying to push on in a terrible world, maybe this can give you something, an interesting form of escapism, but hopefully one that ends up being rewarding in some sense. So that's Station 11 that is coming to HBO Max on Thursday. Also, something I can't talk too much about because I haven't seen it, but The Witcher Season 2 is coming to Netflix this Friday. The basis of this show, The Witcher, Geralt, a mutated monster hunter, struggles to find his place in a world in which people often prove more wicked than beasts. That is such a generic, silly thing. But yes, this stars.
But it's not a generic show. I've watched the entire first season of The Witcher.
No, I've heard good things about it.
It's pretty damn good. It's pretty for a Netflix show. My bar is pretty low for Netflix, so take that with a grain of salt.
Henry Cavill.
I was going to say
great.
Henry Cavill, Freya Allen, and Anya Charlatra star in it. Yeah, this is something that you're probably already aware of, and it'll pop up on your Netflix if you've watched season 1. But just wanted to give it a shout out because I know it was a popular one from late 2019.
I don't remember much
say,
about the first season of The Witcher. What I remember was after I watched it, I replayed The Witcher 3, and I remember really liking that game. Yeah, I mean, it made me want to play The Witcher. So that's
what an undertaking, replaying that game.
I still didn't beat it. I got farther than I got the first time I tried, but definitely have stopped dead in the tracks. I will finish it at one point. One day.
I've seen the first 2 episodes of season 1 of The Witcher, the same number of episodes that I've seen of Cowboy Bebop, and I will say better than the live action Cowboy Bebop.
Okay. You have a similar reference point. That's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's The Witcher season 2. It'll be on Netflix this Friday. Moving on to some movies, something that we will be covering next week. Spider-Man No Way Home is coming out this Thursday/Friday. So
Do you want to be surprised? Well, fuck you. Try to go on YouTube. Try to go on Twitter. My good, looking up that Macgruber thing, I saw a thumbnail that I was like, I can't have any joy in this world. Navigating the internet. It's so brutal. Anyway, go ahead, Brian.
No, yeah. And even in the summary here, I'm not going to say it all because I'm not going to spoil this reveal that is now pretty much a known plot point. I'm not sure how early in the movie it happens, but this is directed again by John Watts, written by Chris McKenna and Eric Summers, and has Tom Holland coming back to star as Peter Parker and Spider-Man with Zendaya, Benedict Cumberbatch, Jacob Batalon, Jon Favreau, Marissa Tomei, J.B. Smoove, Benedict Wong, and some others that I'm not going to mention that are listed here. And I almost
Topher Grace
spoiled. No. But the plot of this movie, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange get into some shenanigans when Doctor Strange is trying to help the world forget that Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Doing something that is morally questionable, which I'm very excited to see if
will seemingly will have some consequences. But if you've been online at any point in the last couple of months, you probably know all of the trailer spoilers and speculation about this movie. But I'm going to do you a service and not blow it here, even though, Chris, please just don't do it this time.
No, I won't. We're
going to be talking about this movie.
Brian, come on. You don't have more respect for me than that?
Just making sure.
I would never dream of spoiling a movie like this for somebody who doesn't want to be spoiled. To that note, though, as of this episode, the video should be coming out on the 12th. The premiere for No Way Home is going to be the 13th, so tomorrow. If you're listening to this on the audio feed, it is tonight. So what I would recommend at this point is I would mute words like Spider-Man and No Way Home on Twitter, because when it comes to movie premieres, it's not just pundits. You have people taking their loved ones, their children. Literally anybody could spoil the movie from this point forward. So if you're one of those people who's looking to get off social media to prevent spoilers, today's the day to delete all those apps, folks.
Take your router, punt it. Take your phone, put it in a Faraday cage. Get offline.
It comes out internationally on the 15th. So if you're being a little ballsy and you don't want to delete those apps today, well, at least 2 days from now, you should probably be a little more careful. So
we're
public
excited.
Service announcement.
We're excited. Much more to come. I don't need to say anything other than I for one don't have any hope that this is going to be a good Spider-Man movie. I have zero hope. I'm hoping it's fun, but it is, from what we've seen so far, it seems like impossible to make this a good, logical movie.
Christian says, here's the Marvel bar. Spider-Man's going to swing under it.
Well, what I'm actually saying, I am ready to be surprised and delighted, but I am putting my expectations for this movie pretty low.
Really low.
If it hits the Marvel bar, I will be like, good job.
This might surprise you considering, how much I've been hyping this movie up, but you and I are in the exact same boat. I'm excited to see the movie, but I don't know if they're going to be able to deliver a quality film with everything that they are saying is in the film.
All the complaints we've had for other movies, it seems like this movie's like, we're gonna
doubling down.
We're gonna quadruple.
Look, after Far From Home came out, I remember in our episode I stated we could potentially be looking at the first and only greatest Spider-Man trilogy. They've never been able to land the finale. Some Spider-Man
really
never even got to the third
failure
one.
There, Chris.
I will say this. My only hope is that it's better than The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I just don't want it to be the worst Spider-Man movie. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. I don't think that's a high bar at all. But we'll see. We'll see come the 16th.
Yeah, we'll be covering that ASAP once we see it. So yeah.
Update to my Fandango predicament. They did confirm they overcharged me, and they said, "We'll get a refund to you," because I was like, "I'm not refunding the tickets. I don't want to return them. I just want my money back." And they said, "I said, how long will it take?" They said, "Oh, that's okay. We'll escalate it." I said, "How long will it take?" They're like, "There's a queue." So I might see that movie when we reboot Spider-Man for the.
This sounds like a class action lawsuit waiting to happen. There's
I didn't see that.
How many people are going to notice this? Probably a little bit of math, a little Fight Club math there.
I did think it was a glitch. I do honestly think it was some sort of weird glitch. So we'll see. More to come. We'll see if I ever get my money back. I do have a reference number.
Great.
And Fandango actually has phone support that I got a hold of way quicker than I expected Fandango phone support to occur. And they're very nice. So there's that.
Well, glad to hear you're in the process of getting your money back, at least. Definitely keep us in the loop.
So far, all I got, alphanumeric 15-string code. That's what I got.
Something to hold on to at night.
That's a good
when you're
step,
worried.
though.
Yeah, for sure.
IT rabbit holes. That's Spider-Man No Way Home. That's coming out in theaters this week.
Christian, sorry, Brian, to derail us a little bit, but I too have been dealing with a lot of bureaucracy lately in regards to the American healthcare system. I was recently diagnosed with sleep apnea. I'm sure that's no surprise to anybody who's watching our videos.
Jesus
but
Christ.
Getting a hold of a CPAP machine has taken almost 3 months, and I contacted the company yesterday because when they initially said they were going to ship the machine, they said it would probably take about 6 weeks with all like the supply line delays and everything. Totally understandable. When I called them yesterday, they were like, yeah, our system says that it hasn't left the warehouse yet. And I was like, awesome. Are you going to be like emailing me any type of tracking number or anything like that when the machine ships? And they're like, I would just recommend calling back every once in a while because when it does ship, they're going to give us a tracking number and we can give it to you at that point. So I propose now. I'm interested to see who gets what first, whether you get your money back first or I get my CPAP machine. I think it's more likely, to be honest, that you get your money back first, but we'll see. Maybe I'll have the CPAP machine, again, like you said, by the time they reboot Spider-Man. Who knows?
I just need a supervisor with like 1,000 tickets to get to mine, and you need like actual like supply chain manufacturing communication with a shipper. So I think that's a safe bet. Chris, have you tried talking to Doctor Strange? Seems like there's nothing that guy won't do.
He is very difficult to get a hold of. I'm not going to lie. Seems like a busy man.
Thank you for bringing it back around there, Christian. So moving into some the last couple of movies that are coming out this week. One that's highly anticipated for me, Nightmare Alley, the latest film directed by Guillermo del Toro with a screenplay that he co-wrote with Kim Morgan. This is based on a novel from 1946 by William Lindsay Gresham and has a star-studded ensemble cast, including Bradley Cooper, Cate Blanchett, Toni Collette, Willem Dafoe, Richard Jenkins, Rooney Mara, Ron Perlman, and many more. This film focuses on Stan Carlisle, played by Cooper, an ambitious carny who hooks up with a corrupt psychiatrist played by Blanchett, who proves to be more dangerous than he is. Kind of nicely vague there. I've seen a couple trailers for this, and the first one was super stylized and made me think of Del Toro doing like a Burton kind of thing. And the second one was a little more letting you know what the basic plot is. I don't want to say too much about this movie. It's Del Toro. It's probably going to be masterful. And It's going to be in theaters this Friday. So that is Nightmare Alley.
I like the idea of an ambitious carny. It's probably...
Yeah, he may or may not have a certain set of skills that
I've never
don't know if they're real or not.
Never met a carnival worker that I would describe as ambitious. So
let's not denigrate that very noble profession of carnyism.
Are we just okay?
How is carny not offensive at this point? I mean,
okay. I just want to. I think it probably is offensive.
A noble carnival worker.
It's like a class slur or something. Maybe I don't know.
Fucking carny.
I saw a like, pop-up.
An ambitious carny.
I saw a pop-up carnival in a mall parking lot the other day. That I was like, is this a dream right now? Like, where did this carnival come from? I didn't stop by, but maybe Nightmare Alley will.
Did you say what a bunch of ambitious and entrepreneurial carnies?
Honestly, I would not have thought they would have been in a mall parking lot. So it was a bit ambitious. So yeah.
To be fair, Nightmare Alley looks as though it's going to be a period piece. Not that makes it right by any means, but maybe it's a little more acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what type of language they use and get back to you.
There could be much worse things said in this movie.
I have 1,000 things that I want to respond to that I will not do.
I think that's
Probably
a good
for the
idea.
best. Probably for the best.
I think that's a good idea.
Ways that you would describe period pieces as if the plot description should reflect the language of that era, Chris.
No, I agree.
Anyway, Brian, dig
That's
us out.
Nightmare Alley.
Let's all be better. That's all I have to say.
always good motivation. Yes, always a good idea
We
to try.
can evolve.
All right. Last but not least, we've got Swan Song coming to theaters and Apple TV Plus this Friday. This is directed by Benjamin Cleary, who also wrote it, and follows a loving husband and father who's diagnosed with a terminal illness and is presented with an alternative solution by his doctor to shield his family from grief. I read that version of the plot and not other versions because if you watch the trailer,
It's a good idea.
there's a pseudo reveal that I'm not sure at what point in the movie. It's probably first act stuff, but I think this is the sort of movie that you want to go in kind of blind if you can with this pseudo sci-fi seeming concept. This stars Mahershala Ali, easy selling point there, as well as Rebecca Bork, Jonathan King, and many others. And those are the producers. And it stars Mahershala Ali, Naomi Harris, Awkwafina, and Glenn Close. Incredible cast here. The plot, it's something that maybe we've seen things like it before, but with this cast, it was really intriguing for me, this trailer, and I will definitely be checking this one out when it comes to Apple TV Plus. That is Swan Song. That'll be out this Friday in theaters and Apple TV Plus. And that's it for the news this week, guys.
Brian, way to bring the wacky news corner. Sorry, I had a little
Extra wacky.
extra wacky.
Super wacky.
I would say it was adequately wacky. It was pretty good. That's gonna do.
Macgruber.
Time for a little R&R.
Oh my
Like,
no.
Dude, how do you not love Kristen Wiig? The new bad guy's name is Queef.
That's fitting for that movie franchise.
yes, it definitely is.
It's so good. All right. That's going to do it for the YouTube portion of the show. Gentlemen, where can people find more of your work on the internet? Starting with Brian this time.
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at True Pop-O-Holic.
And you can find my band at Midnight Satire, a not-so-serious band streaming now. And the best is yet to come. Ooh, why did I say that? That's got weird connotations. Chris?
Loyal viewers and listeners, you can find me on Twitter talking about all things nerdy. And now you can also find me on Careful for Spoilers. I've written a couple of articles recently for their website, so please head over to carefulforspoilers.com and check it out.
The best is yet to come. Brian still doesn't know what I'm referencing. That's okay. I'll send you. I'll send you a gift. 100%.
Okay.
So that'll do it. Again, you can find if you want to listen to the rest of this episode without our beautiful faces. You can subscribe to the podcast down below in the show notes. You can follow us on all the social media. Email us at popholicscast@gmail.com. We read every single email we get. Subscribe on the YouTube feed if you just stumbled upon this. Welcome. Thanks for making it this far. But we'll see the rest of you on the audio feed.
Bye.